Peace and blessings, everyone. So I got online this morning, and there were a couple of things that got me to thinking. Excuse me. And they both are dealing with God. One is a comic strip, and the other is a comment posting to my video, I Saw Jesus Today. So the comic strip is Doonesbury. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a political comic strip. It deals with politics and government, the war, and things of that nature. And so in this one, they're showing the White House. And so there's conversation going on inside the White House. And they're saying, "Sir, the trouble with trying to fathom the will of God is that if one thing is God's will, then everything else that happens is His will too. And there are a lot of things that happen that you wouldn't think He wants to take credit for. Yeah, like Katrina. And I'm the one who caught hell. Well, that would have been His will too." So, the will of God. And I think that's absolutely correct in what they're saying. If you want to say one thing is the will of God, then you have to accept at least a possibility of everything being the will of God. Good and bad. The Katrina, 9/11. Shootings in the recent churches. And that actually brings up something. The shooting that took place was last week, and several people killed. It was like shootings at 2 churches. I can't even remember exactly where, but I'm sure you should be aware of it. There's a shooting, and I believe they found out they were related. I think around 5 people died. The gunman ended up dying later at the second church, but he was shot. I think he shot, but I don't know if he died from the wounds from being shot. But there's a security guard there. No, was she a security guard? But she had a concealed weapon. She's a licensed carry weapon, and she had made a statement of, thank God that He gave her the strength to get herself under control and to stop the guy from killing people in the church. All right, she's giving thanks that if it wasn't for him, wasn't for God, then people in the church would have died. But the thing is, people in another church did die. So this is what you're faced with. You're thanking Him for the people that were killed in the church also, or is that He didn't care about the people who died in the church, but He cared about the people in your church? Or He wanted the people. I already said that He wanted the people in the church to die, which always brings the question, debate of God does things for a reason, and so you always trying to find something good in it, which is debatable. So it's either He wanted them to die, or He didn't care about them dying, or what it was. It was what it was. But the thing is, I think it was the will of God. It's always the will of God, in the sense that, remember, I believe that truth is God. God is truth. So the truth is, those people were killed. It's the truth. So that is the will of God. The truth is, the gunman did it for whatever reason he decided to do it. So that's the will of God. Will, in a sense, not in a being wanting or controlling things to happen, in the sense that it happened. It happened for a reason. But the guy was mad. The guy had access to guns. Him deciding that he picked that church for whatever reason, he was mad. I think he was kicked out of somewhere. I'm not sure it was that church, or he was kicked out of something that had to do with religion. So, but it's all one thing. All one thing. It's all one ball. It's all truth. And so yes, it's the will of God. And so you can't put a good or bad label on it. It just is what it is. And then the posting, the comments, and I want to read it to you, and I'll read it straight through, And I believe that, I like the comments, but for me, he was partially there, but not completely there. And of course, I'll approach this in filtering through, my religion, my church. So it says, my immediate impression, the Spirit of God is prompting your heart to ask these questions. These things do not sit well with you, and with a good reason. Keep your heart and mind open to the truth, and continue to seek and pray for guidance from God, and you will find it. And when you find it, it will sit well with your soul, and everything will make sense. Absolutely everything. Excuse me. The Word of God is truth. The Bible is the Word of God. What we choose to do with it is up to each one of us. We're free to accept it wholeheartedly as it is, partially, or reject it completely. Most Christians accept it partially as they find convenient. That's their sinful nature. Thus to praying to images and crosses, etc., which is unbiblical. And ideas that the law has been done away with, no longer observing God's true Sabbath, fourth commandment, Saturday, etc. Such people leave themselves open to deception, as you mentioned. Satan is called the deceiver, because that's what he does to get what he wants. Many will be deceived, even the very elect, such as preachers, pastors, popes, ministers, etc. If we do not learn to wholeheartedly obey God, even when it is inconvenient, we will be deceived. The question you ask, I used to ask also, because they do not sit well with me. If it does not sit well with you, then question it, and ask God to reveal the truth to you. And when the truth is revealed, it will make all the sense in the world, religiously and scientifically. There is only one Bible and one truth, yet many Christian denominations. Why? Because we choose to believe the truth partially and fill in the gaps with our own doctrines. The truth is in the world, but what do we choose to do with it? Study it or debate about it. The more you study truth, the more will be revealed. The Bible is the truth, the way, and the life. I can see that God is blessing you with the gift of discernment. God bless. Alright. So overall, I like what the poster was saying, But my points of debate, contention, or discernment, start with, okay, it says, keep your heart and mind open to the truth, which I do. Uncompromising truth. And when you find it, it will sit well with your soul. I read, and I can't remember which book, I think it was maybe a Gnostic Gospels book, but I actually read that when you seek the truth and you really find it, that actually your soul will be disturbed. And I can relate more with that, because in my seeking, in my search, my soul has become greatly disturbed by the truth. Then that could be because I'm incorrect, I'm wrong in what I found, or because that is exactly what happens when you really and truly search for the truth. You will initially be disturbed. You will be pained. And that is a stage I'm going through right now. The Word of God is truth. Of course, that's what I believe. The Word of God is truth. The word truth is the Word of God. The Bible is the Word of God. That is debatable, which goes without saying. It's debatable. All religious books that proclaim to be the Word of God is debatable. It is yet proven to be absolute truth. We're free to accept it wholeheartedly as it is, partially, or reject it completely. Most Christians accept it partially as they find convenient. And I just question if that's exactly what the poster did. If he is only accepting, he or she is only accepting the truth partially, instead of having the truth, they're going to the Bible truth. And so it's partially accepting the truth. They might be wholeheartedly accepting the Bible truth, but it's only partially accepting the truth. You see the difference? Such people leave themselves open to deception, such as the poster. If you do not seek the truth, then you are open to deception. I got something for you. I was thinking about it the other day. If you were on a cruise ship and the cruise ship was going to sink, and you had 11 people come up to you and tell you that they had a boat, a raft, that would take you to safety. But the thing is, it was known that only one of them would take you to safety. Only one. How would you, or would you, take the time to find out which one would take you to safety? If it was going to sink immediately, then you would just have to take a leap of faith and take the first one you came to. But let's say you were told that you had several hours before the boat was going to go down. Would you then take the time to inspect each raft for safety and make sure they have holes in it? You would, wouldn't you? So now let's say that boat is your life. Your life is going to end. That boat is going to go down. And those safety rafts are religions. Now you don't know how much time you have until that boat is going to sink. But as far as you think and believe, you have plenty of time. Whereas the boat could sink within an hour. You could die within an hour. You could die immediately. Or you could not die. Or you could die years on down the line. But if you would take the time then to inspect, to really save your life, why would you not do that? Something as serious as God, religion, truth, our existence. Well, we don't do that. If we do not learn to wholeheartedly obey God, even when it is inconvenient, we will be deceived. And that's part of searching for and seeking the truth. Uncompromising. No compromises. No ifs, ands, buts, wells, well, none of that. No matter how much it may go against what we have been taught, how we are brought up, if we don't do that, then we are setting ourselves up. We are falling short of seeking God. And we're not obeying God, not obeying truth. There's only one Bible and one truth, yet many Christian denominations. Why? Because we choose to believe the truth partially and fill in the gaps with our own doctrines. And once again, I ask, is that exactly what the poster is doing? And there's only one Bible, and since there's only one word Bible, but there are many Bibles, there are many versions. Within the denominations, they have their own versions. The Mormon Bible, the Jehovah's Witness Bible. So saying there's only one Bible, it's not true. And within those different ones, they differ. in some way, even if it differs a little bit. That little bit is the difference between truth and lie. The truth is in the world, but what do we choose to do with it? The truth is in the world. The truth is within everything. So as opposed to what do you choose to do with it? The truth. Study it or debate about it. The more you study truth, the more it will be revealed. And I put that forth to the posts themselves. Read your words. The more you study truth, the more that will be revealed. But you have to study truth. Not the Bible truth. Truth itself. And I'll leave it with that. God bless everyone. Peace and love.